Hey, Petey. So, something that I think a lot of people don't realize, and sometimes it takes a long time to recognize, and sometimes even once you recognize it, it's hard to see in the moment in your day to day life, is that humans are contrast detectors. What do I mean by that? I mean that we are designed to notice differences. We are designed to notice when something changes. We are not designed and we are not good at noticing when something stays the same. So, what are the implications of that? Let's first of all define contrast detector in a concrete way that everybody can kind of understand. We do not notice motion. If we are moving, we don't notice. If there is a change in speed or direction, we notice. This is why, for instance, if you're sitting in a train and there's a train on the next track and you're both stopped, and one train starts to move, you may misperceive which train it is because it moves so slowly. Trains start and move so smoothly that if your train is moving, but you're not feeling it, you're not feeling the change from stationary to moving, because it's so smooth that to you it's just consistent, you will think the train next to you is moving. Okay? That happens a lot to people. They think the other train is moving and it's really them, and they realize it when their train hits a bump or they pull away and now they don't see the station anymore. Okay? That's why that phenomena happens. It's also why we don't get seasick on Earth. We are moving through space. We are spinning at a rapid pace through space, but we are spinning at such a consistent rate that we don't notice the motion. If the Earth were jittering and stopping and starting, we'd all be seasick, aside from being flung off into space. If we weren't flung off into space, we'd be seasick. So thankfully, we are contrast detectors, and we don't notice the consistency. Once something is happening, if there is no change, we tend to not notice it. And that's just how we're designed. Why were we designed like that? Probably because we needed to be able to understand our environment and with one little change know that there was a predator or prey around. Okay? So it wasn't listening to every little thing going on, because that's overwhelming. And we can have a whole conversation about the fact that we do not really process everything that we see. We do not really process everything that we hear. We do have truly selective sight and selective hearing, because otherwise everything coming in would be too much. It would overwhelm us. So our brains have trained themselves, for most people, we'll get to that too in another video, to filter what our brain actually acknowledges and reports to us. Okay. So, how does this apply in your everyday life? That was a nice little ramble rant, but how does this apply in your everyday life? When things are going well, they can be going well for a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, it doesn't matter. You'll be going along fine. Something bad happens. That bad thing will stick in your mind and it will seem huge because there was a change. So it's important that we acknowledge, that we stop and just take a breath sometimes and look around and acknowledge what's good. It's hard. It's very hard. And I'm not even going to say a lot of people struggle with this. Everybody struggles with this on some level. And it's important that we find some way to at least occasionally, whether that's at the end of the day, just decompressing, or, on the weekend, finding an hour to just sit and look at the clouds. That used to be a thing. You would lay out in the yard, and you'd look up at the clouds and, oh, look at that shape and look at that shape. There is so much value to that in life, to just stopping and looking around and appreciating where you are, where you've come from, and where you're going. on a small scale or on a grand scale, because I tell you, our brains are not designed to do that at all. We are always looking for contrast and, by definition, conflict. Okay? So just take some time. I cannot express to you in this video how important that is. But it is so important physically, mentally, emotionally, for your career, for your personal relationships, for everything, just for your own sanity. Just take a beat, take a breath, and appreciate who you are and what you have. And don't forget to remember that some of the things you look on as mistakes, as problems in the past, were just your path to get here. They were all part of your journey to get where you are today. That's it. All right, buddy. Love you to the moon and back. See you next time.